Bonjour à tous et bienvenue à ma chaîne YouTube. Merci d'être ici et bon visionnage. Today on my workbench I have Williams' Breckwell brand analog pellet stove controller. Williams sent me this one because he was having a couple of issues, namely with the on-off switch, and when he would go into any other position than low, the auger would drive constantly or for very long periods of time. So that would have overfilled his fire pot, made the fire roar, or eventually smothered the fire. So after discussing this with William, I agreed that he could send it to me for repairs. I received it today. I replaced a couple of components on the main circuit board, and I'm now ready to do final tests before I ship it back to William. I did run it for a couple hours after doing the repairs, and it is functioning exactly like I expected to. So the component replacements I made did the trick to repair the problems. So as you can see, Williams' controller is mounted on my test fixture. It's mounted on my faceplate, which also holds an actual auger motor. The shaft from the auger motor comes out the front. I have an X marks the spot decal on the shaft. And when the controller calls for the auger to drive, you'll see the X marks the spot spin. You'll also hear the auger motor spin in the video, and we'll see the light at the back here come on. Speaking of those lights, there's 4 of them. They simulate the different functions on your stove. The first one simulates the igniter, but for this controller the igniter will not come on, so we won't see that light come into play. The second light in blue simulates the combustion fan. The third light with a yellow indicator simulates the auger motor. And finally in red at the far end, that light simulates the convection or the room fan. So I have power applied to the controller. I just need to turn it on, and when I do, a couple quick things will come on. We get a couple lights that have come on. We're in low position, so the convectron fan will be running in low speed, and we also have the combustion fan running. That's partly because of the way that I have my tester configured. So some of the tests that we can do right now with this being in low is cycle through the 5 positions, B, C, D, E, and max. So notice as I cycle through, the intensity of the light bulb gets higher, which means that the fan would be running faster. Now, as I always say for each of these types of controllers, positions D, E, and max are hardwired together on the controller circuit board itself, so there's no real change in intensity. Now there's flashing as we switch, but the intensity doesn't change. Like if I go to C now, it gets a little dimmer, and at A it's really dim. So there we go. This switch is working correctly, it feels good, and it's ready to go. The other test I can do with the convection fan is the high fan speed over here. If I toggle that switch to on, we see the intensity has gone way up, which means the fan will be running at full speed. So off, on, off, on. The last thing I can do in manual mode here is test a manual feed switch. That is a momentary switch, so when I press on it, we see the auger drives, we see X marks the spot spinning, and we hear it in the video. See how that's working? So that switch is fully functional. That's good to go. So let's go ahead and switch to automatic mode, and to do that I need to press on this switch here, which is called auger. When I do, a few things will happen, namely we'll see the green light up here come on, and we may see a burst of the auger motor drive, but certainly a timer will start in here, and that will determine when the first automatic burst of auger drive will happen. Typically that happens about 20 seconds after I press the switch. So here we go, press and release. We see the green light has come on, the timer has started, and we have to wait for the first cycle to happen. When it does happen, it'll be fairly short. The light will come on for just a quick moment. Let's wait for that to happen. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Let's go, little doggy. Go on. You can do it. Additionally, there's an LED at the back here. We saw the little burst come on. There's an LED at the back here that comes on when the auger drive is being called to drive. So that is on. You may not see it in the video, but I tested that and it is fully functional. So let's wait for another cycle to happen. There it is, a quick little burst. We'll do one more before we move on to a high speed to see the difference. Just a quick little burst, it'll be fairly short. There it is, nice short burst. So if I go to max, we see the intensity of the convectron fan has come on. Now, let's wait for the first burst of the auger drive, and it'll be a longer burst. Notice how it's longer? Nice long drive. So the time between drives will be shorter as well. So we should see another burst quite quickly here. There it is. Notice how long it is. Short off time, long on time. One last time and then we'll go back to low. There it is. Nice long time. So let's go back to low and we'll have to wait approximately 15 seconds before the first short burst happens. There it is. One last time and we'll shut it down when testing is completed. Let's go. We're waiting. There it is. Nice short burst. So there we have it, William. Your controller is once again fully functional. I did replace a couple parts and I'm quite happy with the way it's performing. It's a good looking controller, no scratches, everything is in place. I want to thank you very much for sending this to me for repairs. I appreciate that. And for all you viewers out there, if you have a pellet stove controller of your own that needs service or repairs, whether it's a Breckwell like this one, a USSC, a Quadrifire, or some other brands, and you have a service need or you'd like to have a little bit of discussions about questions you may have, feel free to contact me. You'll find my contact information in the description just below this video. In the meantime, I want to thank you very much for watching this. I hope you'll take a few seconds to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.